Shabbat Shalom and welcome to the Wimbledon Synagogue for this evening service, this Friday night service. Of course, I think many of you are also turning in, and those also who are in the synagogue coming with mixed feelings or joining the service with mixed feelings after last night when we emerged from Yom Kippur, and we did not with, I think, a light heart, but instead with a heavy heart. The sanctity of our holiest day was pierced by the tragic news from Manchester, and especially to our family, friends, colleagues in Manchester, we are holding you in our prayers this night. We are with you, we feel with you, and we bleed with you. It's always a little bit a question of how you return to the regular things, the normal pattern after the high holidays. We ask that every single time, every year, and perhaps this year it just feels different, but perhaps in that regularity of having Shabbat, coming together for Shabbat, there is an answer. It's being together, being community, coming together, holding each other in times when it is difficult, but also in times when it's joyful. It's always good to come together as community, and every week Shabbat reminds us about this special Jewish feature that is sometimes a little bit like something that pushes you and says you need to be there, but often it is also a wonderful invitation, an open arm, a hand that comes in your direction and pulls you in. So I hope that indeed this Shabbat service tonight and also tomorrow will be an answer, a moment of joy and reflection, and indeed something to celebrate. And we as a community want to celebrate because we can celebrate a bat mitzvah. And we will do so with the greatest joy and with a lot of singing and celebration, and I think also a lot of sweets. So there is something to look forward to. And before we ask our bat mitzvah, Ezi, to light for us the candles for Shabbat, I just want to sing with you, just to open a little bit the mood, and that is Hine ma tov u'manayim, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. If you want, it's in your books on page 679, but it is only one line, and most of you might know it. Page 679, Hine ma tov. Hine ma tov u'manayim, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine ma tov, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine ma tov, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine ma tov, hine ma tov, yadadai la 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 la. Hine ma tov, hine ma tov, ya la 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 la. Hine ma tov u'manayim, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim, Shevet Achim Gam Yachad. And now, my dear Ezi, you have the moment to join me here. let's see, it's a nice new candle. And if you're able to, please rise. And thank you. And the blessing for the candles. Oh.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lachadik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. And because you did that for the first time in the community, in front of your community, it deserves an additional blessing, and that is the Shehichianu. And I invite you all to help me with that. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehichianu v'kiyamanu v'higiyanu lazman hazeh. Mazal tov. Half of your Bati celebration already in the back. You may be seated, and you can sit there for a moment. I will invite you back to lead us in the prayers of the Shema, but for the moment I would like to continue on page 105 with this wonderful poem by Chaim Nachman Bialik, Shabbat HaMalkah. הרחמה מראש האילנות נסתלקה והובן אצל לקראת שבת המלכה הנה היא יורדת הקדושה הברוכה ועם המלאכים צבא שלום ומנוחה. בואי בואי המלכה, בואי בואי הכלה, שלום עליכם מלאכי השלום. We receive the Shabbat with song and with prayer. To our homes we bring hearts filled with gladness to share. The table is set here, is set there. The candles are bright. Each corner is shining. The house spreads its light. Shabbat of peace and blessing. Shabbat of peace and rest. Enter in peace, messengers of peace. And on page 111, Psalm 95 invites us to sing to the Eternal. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena l'Adonai. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena l'Adonai. Naria, naria, letzur yishenu, nekat mafanav betoda. Naria, naria, letzur yishenu, nekat mafanav betoda. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena l'Adonai. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena l'Adonai. On the next page, Shiru l'Adonai, Shiru shir chadash, Shiru l'Adonai, kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai, Shiru shir chadash, Shiru l'Adonai, kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai, barechu shemo, bazru miyom leyom yeshuato. Shiru l'Adonai, barechu shemo, bazru miyom leyom yeshuato. Shiru l'Adonai, Shiru shir chadash, Shiru l'Adonai, kol haaretz. Shiru l'Adonai, Shiru shir chadash, Shiru l'Adonai, kol haaretz. And when we turn to page 114, we find Psalm 97. The Eternal rules, let the earth be glad, let the many eyes rejoice. Clouds and darkness surround God, but righteousness and justice are the foundations of God's throne. Fire strides before God, blazing around all foes. God's lightning lights up the world. The earth sees and trembles. Mountains melt like wax before the Creator, before the Sovereign of all the earth. The heavens declare God's righteousness. All peoples see God's glory. Shame on all those who are slaves to an image, who puff up their pride with hollow gods, false gods. Bow down before the one. Zion heard and rejoiced. The daughter of Judah were glad because of your judgment, O God, because of your sovereign supreme over all the earth. You are supreme beyond all gods. Those who love the eternal hate evil. God guards the soul of those who are faithful, saving them from the hand of the wicked. A harvest of light is sown into the righteous and joy for the constant heart. You who are righteous, rejoice in the eternal. Call God's holiness to mind with praise. And we continue on page 119 with Psalm 29. Havu l'Adonai b'nei Elim, havu l'Adonai kavod va'oz, havu l'Adonai kavod shemo, ishtachavu l'Adonai behadrat kodesh, kol Adonai al ha'amayim, el ha'kavod hirim, Adonai, Adonai, al mayim rabim, kol Adonai ba'koach, kol Adonai behada, kol Adonai shove arazim, vayeshabe Adonai et asa Levanon, vayakidem kemo egel Levanon, vehesirion kemo ben re'emim, kol Adonai chotzev lehavot esh, kol Adonai yachil midbar, yachil Adonai midbar kadesh, kol Adonai yechole ayalon, vayechesov ye'arot, uvechalo kulo omer kavod, kulo omer, kulo omer, kulo omer kavod. Adonai l'hamabol yashav, vayeshev Adonai melech leolam, Adonai oz le'amo yiten, Adonai yevarech et amo v'shalom. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. 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 Shamo v'zacho b'dibur echad, hishmi'anu el hameyuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, l'shemo l'tiferet v'litila. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lehu v'nelecha, ki himeko ברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, אורי שדברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך לגלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. We continue with verse 6. לא תבושי ולא תקל ממה, תשתוכחי ומה תהמי. בך יחסו בנני עמי, ונבנתה עיר אל תהילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. And now please rise. מוי ושלום התרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצולה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. You may be seated. And the additional verse we're singing tonight in English says, no more despise, nor put to shame. Why are you bowed? Why so cast down? My humble people wait for you, rebuild upon your ancient ground. And this leads me to a short moment just to think of the victims in Manchester, the victims of terror. As we traditionally would welcome at this point mourners of our own community into our midst, we of course extend this. We are all one family, one mishpacha. As we say, Hamakom yinachem etchem betoch sha'a avalei Tzion Yerushalayim. May the ever-present comfort you together with all who mourn in Zion and Yerushalayim. Mikolot mayim habim, adirim, mishperei ham. Mikolot mayim habim, adirim, mishperei ham. Adir b'marom Adonai, adir b'marom Adonai, adir b'marom Adonai, adir b'marom Adonai, Adi Bamarom Adonai, Adi Bamarom Adonai. And we please rise, and Ezzy, if you would like to join me already, that would be helpful because it makes logistics a little bit easier. So perhaps through the narrow place. And we do first the Baruch Hu, so we turn towards the ark for the call to prayer, and then I'll invite you to read for us the first blessing before the Shema. Nine, 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 Baruchu et Adonai Hamevorach Baruch Adonai Hamevorach Hamevorach Leolam Vaed Hamevorach Hamevorach Leolam Vaed. Thank you. Please be seated. And you can put your book there. And the first blessing before the Shema speaks about that the world is not only in light or in darkness, there's also gray, and this is also part of God's creation.
Blessed are you, our God and Creator, sovereign of the universe, whose word brings on the evening twilight, who opens the gates of dawn with wisdom, and with foresight makes time pass and seasons change. Your plan sets the stars in their course in the sky, creating day and night, turning light into darkness and darkness into light. You make the day fade away and bring on the night, separating day and night. You are the ruler of the hosts of heaven. Blessed are you, God, who brings on the evening twilight.
Amen. Avat olam beit Yisrael amcha ahavta. Torah u'mitzvot, chokim u'mishpatim otanu limadeta. Al ken Adonai Eloheinu b'shochbeinu uvkumeinu nasiach b'chukecha v'nizmach v'na'aloz b'divrei Toratecha u'mitzvotecha v'chukotecha leolam va'ed. כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגי יומם ולילה, ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב את עמו ישראל.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך. וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
Wonderful. And when you turn to page 134, you can read for us this part as well.
The Eternal said to Moses, "Speak to the children of Israel and tell them that each generation shall put seats on the corner of their clothes and put a blue thread on the corner seat. Then, when the seat catches your eye, You will remember all the commands of the Eternal and do them. Then you will no longer wander after the desires of your hearts and your eyes, which led you to lust. Then you will remember all my commands and do them, and you will be set apart for your God. I am the Eternal your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your own God. I, the Eternal, am your God.
Thank you very much. Well done. Want to read more? You want to read more? Okay. You really read very beautifully, so thank you. We're on page 135. Emet v'emuna kol zot v'kayam aleinu ki hu Adonai Eloheinu ve'en zulato v'anachnu Yisrael amo. העושה גדולות עד אין חקר, ונפלאות עד אין מספר, וראו בניו גבורתו, שברו והודו לשמו ומלכותו, ברצון קיבלו עליהם. משה ומרים ובני ישראל לך ענו שירה בשמחה רבה, ואמרו כולם, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדע בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף אלה. מלכותך אדוני אלוהינו, ראו בניך על הים, יחד כולם הודו והמליכו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר, כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל. Page 136, our reading of God's gift of peace and protection. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו מלכנו לחיים. Source of our life and our sovereign, cause us to lie down in peace and rise again to enjoy life. Spread over us the covering of your peace. Guide us with your good counsel, and save us for the sake of your name. Be a shield about us, turning away every enemy, disease, violence, hunger, and sorrow. Remove the temptation that awaits us and the guilt that lies behind us. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, for you are a God who guards and protects us, a ruler of mercy and compassion. Guard us when we go out and when we come in, to enjoy life and peace both now and forever, and spread over us the shelter of your peace. Blessed are you, God, spreading the shelter of peace over us, over your people Israel, and over all the world. Baruch atah Adonai, hapores sukat shalom aleinu ve'al amo Yisrael ve'al kol ha'olam. Over the past 24 hours, many in our congregation have received a lot of messages, wonderful messages from friends, from neighbors. We have received from the Islamic community in Bethlehem a wonderful message of solidarity, from the church communities around. And in my answers to them, in the different ways how I answered, but one thing is I mentioned that next week is the beginning of Sukkot, the festival where we are living or dwelling or having a lunch in these temporary housings, in these fragile, very unstable buildings, temporary buildings, reminding us of the travel of the Israelites through wilderness for 40 years, and that God's shelter was with them, and that we hope and that we always pray and also know that God's shelter is with us. And sometimes God's shelter is seen through the friends, the people who hold us in difficult times, who hold their arms out to hold us. This is also what God's gift of peace and protection is. So this Sukkah, this shelter of God is also manifested through the love and the support we receive from our friends all around us. So thank you for all those wonderful messages also right now here on our live stream. Thank you. Turn back to Shabbat, page 137. We sing together Vishamru. Shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asod et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berid olam, v'heni uvein b'nei Yisrael, oti leolam, ki sheished yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim et haaretz et haaretz uvayom ha-shvi'i shavat vayinafash vayom ha-shvi'i shavat vayinafash. And please rise for the words of the Amidah, page 140 and the following pages. Adonai sefata tiftach ufi agita hilatecha. Adonai sefata tiftach ufi agita hilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'Elohei imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Konei Hakol, ve'Zocher Chazdei Avot ve'Imahot, Umevi Goel Livnei V'nehem, Leman Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozeh Moshe Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Poket Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye metim atarav lehoshia, Morit hatahal, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechaye metim berachamim rabim, Somech noflim ve'rofeh cholim, Umati asurim, Umekayem emunato lishenei afar, Michamocha ba'al gevurot, Umidom elach, Melech memid umechaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah lehachayot metim, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye hametim. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kedushim b'chol yom yalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh. You made the seventh day holy for your name, as the end of creation of heaven and earth. You blessed it above all other days. You made it holier above all other times. So it is written in your Torah. ויחולו השמיים והארץ וכל צבאם, ויחל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה, וישפוט ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה. ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי ויקדש אותו, כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו, רצנה ומחתנו, קדשנו במצוותיך, שים חלקנו בתורתך, שבענו בטובך, שמח נפשנו בשועתך, וטהר ליבנו לעובדך באמת. והנחילנו אדוני אלוהינו באהבה וברצון שבת קודשך, וינוחו בה כל ישראל מקדשי שמך, ברוך אתה אדוני, מקדש השבת. רצה אדוני אלוהינו בעמך ישראל ותפילתם שאה, וברחמך הרבים תחפוץ בנו, ותשרה שכינתך על ציון. ותחזינה עינינו בתשובך לציון ברחמים, ברוך אתה אדוני המחזיר שכינתו לציון. We declare with gratitude that you are our God and the rock of our ancestors. You are our rock, the rock of our life, and that shield that saves us. In every generation we thank you and recount your praise for our lives held in your hand, and for our souls that are in your care, and for the signs and your presence that are with us every day. At every moment, at evening, morning, and noon, we experience your wonders and your goodness. You are goodness itself, for your mercy has no end. You are mercy itself, for your love has no limit. Forever have we put our hope in you. ועל כולם יתברך ויתרומם ויתנשא תמיד שמך מלכנו לעולם ועד. וכל החיים ידעוך סלע, יהללו ויברכו את שמך הגדול באמת. האל ישועתנו ועזרתנו סלע. ברוך אתה אדוני, הטוב שמך ולך נאה להודות. And we're on page 148. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. כי אתה הוא מלך אדון לכל השלום, וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל, בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. ברוך אתה אדוני המברך את עמו ישראל בשלום. And you may be seated, and we have a moment for our private prayers. יהיו לרצון עם רפים הגיון ליבי לפניך אדוני צורי וגואלי עושה שלום ממומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ועל כל העולם. עושה שלום ממרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל כל ישראל ועל כל העולם. הוא יעשה שלום, הוא יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. הוא יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. הוא יעשה שלום, הוא יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. הוא יעשה שלום, הוא יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. כל העולם ואמרו אמן. There's something arresting about the way Moses chooses to end his life's work. He has been the lawgiver, the prophet, the tireless negotiator between God and Israel. He has carried the people through rebellion, hunger, thirst, battle, and endless complaint. He has taught them law upon law, command upon command, shaping a covenant that will define them for generations. And then, at the very end, when the time has come for his final words, he does not deliver another statute. He sings. The portion of Ha'azinu is Moses' farewell. Not a rule book, but a poem. Not instruction, but music. His last legacy to the people is rhythm and imagery, not legislation. The choice is remarkable, perhaps even radical. He knows that the people will continue to debate law, to add to it, to interpret it. What they cannot easily do is forget a song. A poem lingers in the memory, slips past the rational mind, takes root in the heart. Moses seems to understand that what endures is not only the structures we build, but the melodies we leave behind. We live in a culture that often measures legacy in terms of achievement, rules, or processions. What did you accomplish? What order did you impose? What material security did you leave for your children? Yet, Ha'azinu invites us to ask a different question. What music will you leave behind? When those who knew you remember your presence, will it sound like a law book or like a song? Jewish tradition has always carried both. We have our halakha, the legal framework, detailed and precise, but we also have Agadah, the stories, the songs, the midrashim. We need both. But in the end, it may be the song that carries further. Think of how our people survived exile. It was not simple through law codes. Also, they gave us structure. It was through melody, through rhythm, through stories retold around the Shabbat table, through psalms whispered in quiet moments, through the cadences of prayer and the tune of festivals. Laws shape our conduct, but songs shape our soul. Moses' decision can be read as an act of courage. After all, poems are fragile. They do not command obedience. They can be misinterpreted, even dismissed. Yet he trusts that the people will find themselves in the music. He trusts that beauty may carry truth more deeply than command. That is a bold act of faith in those who come after him. It raises a question for each of us. What do we want to leave behind? for our children, for our community, for those whose lives cross ours in ways small or great? Do we want to be remembered for the rules we imposed or for the melody we shared? I'm not suggesting that rules have no place. Communities need structures. Family need guidance. But perhaps we often overestimate their power and underestimate the enduring strength of beauty, kindness, and song. Psalm 90 attributes to Moses himself says, teach us to number our days that we may attain a heart of wisdom. It is a striking turn of phrase. Not a heed of wisdom, but a heart. The heed is precise, and the head. Mistake. The head is precise, analytical. It needs rules. The heart carries melodies, rhythm, and song. Moses, having numbered his days, seems to know what the heart's wisdom is, what he must leave. Moses' own song is not all sweetness. No. Haazino is fierce at times. It warns of faithlessness. It describes the people's failings. But even in its severity, it is rhythm. It is poetry. It is a plea for memory. And perhaps there is another lesson. Even our warnings, even our rebukes might be shaped in ways that linger as music rather than as rules. A harsh word may secure immediate obedience, but a word spoken in rhythm with care may echo for years. In many ways, Moses teaches us that legacy is not about control. It is about trust. He cannot accompany the people into the land. He cannot legislate forever circumstances they will face. He leaves them instead with a song that calls them to remember, to listen, to feel. He trusts that they will make their own melodies. This Shabbat, with the echoes of Yom Kippur still close, we are now invited to take Moses' song on. Yom Kippur is heavy with laws, lists of sins, rules broken, duties neglected. It is necessary. But now, as the gates have closed and we step forward, perhaps we should think about our own legacy song. What melody will the year ahead carry? What rhythm will others hear from us? It may be the way we bless before meals, the way we sing a lullaby to a child, the way we choose words of kindness when harsher words would be easier. The way we tell a story from our past is not to control the listener, but to share a piece of memory. These are the songs that endure. We too must practice that trust, whether as parents, teachers, friends, or members of a changing society. We cannot script the future. We cannot legislate every choice, but we can offer songs of kindness, of justice, of memory, that those who come after us may carry and adapt. Moses' courage was to choose song at the end. May we find the same courage not only at the end of life, but throughout it, and to live so that when we are remembered, the memory comes not as a list of demands, but as a melody that brings strength and joy. Shabbat Shalom. And So we return to our prayer book on page 310, please. And if you are able to, please rise as we look at the words of the Aleinu. Aleinu לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת ידונה ליוצא בראשית, אשר בחר בנו מכל העמים ונתן לנו את תורתו. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לבני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד. And we continue on page 347 with this wonderful poem from Judy, Chicago. 347. We look to the future with hope. So many dreams have faded in the accusing light of day. So many visions of better times have turned into nightmares and blood. We have been disappointed too often, and yet still we hope. We hope for transformation, for societies where prejudice and superstition, fear and unrest give way to fullness of life and the humble recognition of our common humanity. We are in this together. We need each other, and we need to affirm our hope, for goodness is real and justice is possible. A life on earth can be enhanced by those filled with an awareness of the eternal and the knowledge of their own transcendence. We are guests passing through. With patience, resilience, and courage, we can leave this world a little bit better for our having been here. This is our hope. This is our security. In the light of eternity, we have a significance we cannot measure. Moment by moment, we build God's kingdom. Our world is in the process of being repaired through us and within us. This is our redemption. We look to the future with hope. And then all that has divided us will merge. And then compassion will be wedded to power. And then softness will come to a world that is harsh and unkind. And then both men and women will be gentle. And then both women and men will be strong. And then no person will be subject to another's will. And then all will be rich and free and varied. And then the greed of some will give way to the needs of many. And then we will care for the sick and the weak and the old. And then we will nourish the young. And then we will cherish life's creatures. And then we all will live in harmony with one another on the earth. And then everywhere will be called Eden once again. And we continue with
the souls of the righteous are in the hands of God, and no harm shall come to them. God, source of compassion, you give life in which joys and sorrows are mingled, and send death with its promise of eternal peace. We mourn this week the deaths of Gemma Salem, wife of Paul, daughter-in-law of Jill Salem, Eric Bramstead, husband of the late Helen Bramstead, stepfather of Leah and Alan. Celia Lewis, wife of Philip Lewis. Beatrice Stone, mother of Stephen, mother-in-law of Leela, grandmother of Michelle, and great-grandmother of Georgia. Hilary Clift, friend of Vivian and Ed Spevok. Angela Applebaum, sister-in-law of Paula Aarons. May you comfort their families and all who mourn for them. May God, who is full of compassion, whose presence is over us, cover them in the shelter of your wings forever, and bind their souls into the gathering of life. We remember at this time all those who once shared with us the joys and challenges of life, but who are with us no longer. May their souls shine like the brightness of the heavens. We thank you for all you gave them during their lives. We think especially of those who died at this time in years past. Edmund Bircher, brother of Brian. Samuel Coleman, father of Howard. Rachel Miller, mother of Sharon Cousins. Wendy Greenfield, sister of Carolyn Summers. Irene Friedman, mother of Carolyn Summers. Evelyn Joy Springer, grandmother of Nicola Appel, great-grandmother of Imogen and Juliet. Jamie Wheeler, stepfather of Rosalind Fitzgibbon. Morris Barnett, father of Alexandra Dembitz. Denzel Mayer Keane, uncle of Alexandra Dembitz. Elizabeth Keane, grandmother of Alexandra Dembitz. Winnie Lewis, mother of Sally Ann Feldman and of Stuart Lewis. Are there any other names that people would like to mention?
We'll mention, of course, Adrian and Melvin, the two victims from Manchester.
Zichronam livracha. May the memory of their love and guidance be a source of enduring blessing. In loving memory, we sanctify your name and say, Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah, ba'alma divrach yutei v'amlich malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yomechon, ufchaye dichol Beit Israel, ba'agala avizman karif v'imru Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mavarach le'olam olamei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'ytromam v'yitnaseh, v'tada v'taleh v'talal shmei tikudusha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, ti'amiran ba'ama v'imru Amen. Yahei shlama rabba min shmaya, v'chaim aleinu v'akol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'mumav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'akol Yisrael v'imru Amen.
Thank you very much. Many people have also asked what they can do, especially our friends from the outside. And I don't want to end with a lot of politics. Actually, a wonderful Shabbat service. So thank you for everyone who is here and also who is online. But one thing is, it reminds me of the Kol Nidrei appeal from our chair, where she also said part of the money we collect, the tzedakah we collect over the high holidays, is for the campaign against anti-Semitism. What really helps is not to add more security and more and more and more and higher walls and higher fences. What really helps is a fight standing against anti-Semitism wherever we can. We can only eradicate all those atrocities that happen to our community and to any other faith community that is under target when we stop hatred, when we stand up against anti-Semitism, when we stand up against any form of hatred. This will only help us to get out of the self-inflicted, unfortunately, sometimes, or not self-inflicted, but this built prisons and high walls where we cannot go outside in safety. We need the security of our community in forms of support, love, and fight against anti-Semitism. and hatred. So if there's anything you want, you can do, is support either those organizations or stand up by yourself wherever anti-Semitism is facing you. Stand up and say no. Thank you once again. We continue tomorrow morning with a beautiful service. And Ezzy, thank you for leading us through the Shema this evening. So bear witness to God's unity and that God is our God, your God, our God. And it will be just a celebration of joy and bringing all together once more. I'm really looking forward to that. And Sukkot is around the corner, so Monday evening, please have that in mind as well. We will come together to begin the festival of Sukkot, and then comes a week of celebration with even pizza in the sukkah and so more. So please look at your magazines, your emails, and those who are online, we will live stream most of the services. There will be also for you accessible and marked so that you can easily join in. We conclude, I think, with Adon Olam, and Chaim wants to join, and he should join, page 320. Adon Olam asher mala b'terem kol yetzir nivra v'nasa kechefzo kol azai melech shemo nikra ve'acharei kivlot hakol levado yimloch noa ve'hu haya ve'hu hoveh ve'hu yeh בתפארה והוא אחד ואין שני להמשילו להכבירה בלי ראשית בלי תכלית ולא העוז והמשרה והוא אלי וחי גואלי וצורב לי ביום צרה והוא ניסי ומנוסי מנת כוסי ביום אקרא וידו אפקית רוחי בדישן והעירה ועם רוחי גלייתי אדוני לי ולא אירא. Shabbat Shalom.